Scene 1. Jerick and the Beast. The door exploded, shattered into 1,000 splinters. Kane's boot left it in ruins as his armored frame lurched slowly through the open doorway. He stepped into the dust-thick air, sabers drawn, no words, just breath and the low groan of ancient floorboards under his weight. Jerick jerked to his feet, young, wiry, desperate. His dirt-caked hands clutched a bottle of ratgut ale and a cracked cup, bloodshot eyes wild with panic. "Stay back," he barked, swinging the bottle wildly before hurling it toward the shadow in the doorway. Kane didn't stay back. He moved toward the young outlaw with measured steps. The room grew colder with each one, the shadows stretching unnaturally across the warped floorboards. He wore a skull-like mask that covered his entire head, layered with a black scarf that concealed the lower half of his face. He looked like death itself, trying to hide its smile. The bottle shattered against his shoulder. Red liquor splashed across black armor like blood. Jerick snatched a torch from the wall, too slow. Kane surged forward, but the outlaw hurled it anyway. It hit the far wall, caught on the rotted curtains, and fire bloomed like a hungry mouth. "Idiot," Kane rasped, voice dry as parchment beneath the scarf. "You should have given up back at the tavern 3 days ago. You fools are all the same. Thought your men would stop me from collecting the bounty. No, boy. You just sent them to their graves." The outlaw drew steel, a curved belt blade, chipped and dirty. He slashed at Kane's chest, landing a lucky hit. Sparks danced from the old armor. Kane barely flinched. The next strike hit higher, cutting across the edge of the skull mask. A sharp crack, bone-white ceramic shattered and clattered to the floor. Kane stood still. His face was exposed, half man, half decay, cheek half missing, teeth exposed, skin sunken and cracked. Yellow eyes glowed like lanterns behind a veil of rot. Jerick froze, horror plain on his face. He stammered, What in the 9 hells are you?" Kane answered by moving. His gaze locked onto the outlaw, fury and something darker burning behind his eyes. Steel screamed against steel as the blades clashed. The outlaw fought desperately, but every strike bounced off Kane's armor. Jerick stabbed low, the blade sinking into Kane's gut. Kane barely grunted. Again and again he drove the blade into him. Still the thing before him barely bled. Kane had had enough. One hard blow from the pommel of his saber sent the outlaw crashing into a splintered table. "Your worth's higher alive," Kane muttered. Then, crack, he brought the hilt down against Jerick's skull. The boy dropped like a puppet with cut strings. The fire behind Kane spread, devouring curtains, beams, and air. He didn't look back. He moved through the burning shack with cold, deliberate purpose, smoke curling around him. Cabinet. Under the floorboard, he found a small wooden box, scorched but intact. Inside, a blood-encrusted necklace, bronze chain, small emerald inset in a twisted sigil, the client's property. He pocketed it, then paused. His gaze drifted to Jerick's unconscious body. A cold wave slid through his gut, hunger, sharp, clawing, rising. He reached for his belt, for his medicine, his last drop of sanity. Everything would be fine. He just needed the vial. His trembling hands moved on instinct. His wounds screamed for relief. The condition required one of 2 things: his anti-necrotic potion, crafted from embalming fluids and healing brews, or the warm flesh of another human being. He didn't want flesh. He never did. But wounds. Wounds made the hunger grow. Each time he gave in, it brought him closer to madness. Closer to the thing he swore he'd never become again. He'd taken his last potion a week ago. He never planned to go this long without it. Another reason to hate the outlaw. 3 days earlier, Kane had tracked Jerick's gang to a roadside inn. The boy had told his men to kill him. They tried. They failed. Now he was the last one left. Kane didn't age, didn't need to eat or breathe. His body still functioned, but to maintain it, potions or flesh were required. Without either, the hunger would eventually drive him insane. And he had gone too long without both. He realized he'd been standing in front of a mirror, staring at his slowly decaying face. Skin graying, veins darkening. No problem, he thought, one last failsafe. He reached for the final vial. His fingers sliced open on sharp glass. The vial was shattered. just shards and the sour stink of spoiled resin. Kane exhaled, slow, controlled. The hunger surged hotter behind his teeth. He dropped the broken glass. Behind him, the outlaw stirred. Kane dragged him from the burning house and dropped him hard onto wet stone outside. He lifted the boy like a doll. He was getting stronger. A bad sign. He started pacing. Back and forth, eyes twitching, muscles tight, breath shallow. "No, not going to do it," he growled. "He's tied. Worth more alive. Contract said alive. Alive." He clutched the pouch of grey thorn soil around his neck like a sacred relic. The outlaw stirred again, bleeding, dazed, watching him. "Hey, bounty hunter," he rasped. "I got gold, a lot of it. Hidden stash, let me go, it's yours." Kane didn't answer. He kept pacing, fingers twitching, jaw clenched. "Hey," the outlaw snapped, yellow eyes. "Don't ignore me. Freak, you smell like dead shit. Look at me." Kane stopped mid-step, turned. His eyes were no longer glowing like torchlight. They burned like a furnace. The outlaw's face paled. His mouth moved, but no sound came. Kane stepped forward slowly, each bootfall deliberate. He crouched low, his gaze locked. Not human anymore. "No," Kane whispered, voice low and focused. "I tried. I did. Then he lunged. The outlaw screamed high and raw as Kane pinned him down, teeth bared. His head snapped forward, and the screams turned to gurgles as he tore into cheek and muscle. Blood sprayed across the stone. Kane threw him down and tasted the flesh. The screaming continued, desperate and wet. Jerick thrashed, but Kane held him like a beast over prey, eyes wide, lips peeled back in a grotesque parody of a snarl. Jerick didn't stop screaming for a very, very long time.